Hi, let's talk about motivation. This is Inspire Magic. Hi, I'm Aaron Jones and welcome to Inspire Magic, the video series where I like to help other magicians and help myself inspire others to do good magic. So today I wanted to talk about motivation and continuity while performing in your show. And what do I mean by this? Well, let's take for example watching a movie. When you watch a good movie, you know the motivation behind all the characters, you know there's a continuity in the story, everything happens for a purpose and for a reason. And this of course is important when performing magic as well, because magic is a performing art. And if you watch a play or read a story, the characters should have motivation. And it should be clear what their motivation is. So if you watch a movie and the motivation of the characters isn't clear, the movie is obviously not very good, and you can see this sometimes. So when you're performing in your show, performing specific routines or performing specific effects, everything needs to have a reason, have to have a motivation, and have a continuity to it to make it work well and to come up as strong magic. For example, in magic, we use a lot of strange props, some magicians do, and you need to have a reason and motivation while you're using. Why are you using this object? Why are you using this device? Because if you don't, it might be a nice trick, but for the audience, there's no connection. What is this strange looking device? For example, let's take our classic of magic, the linking rings. The linking rings, you can take two rings and you link them together. That's interesting, but why? Why are we doing this? You have to create within your structure of your routine the reason why you're doing this. This can be done through the patter, through explaining why you're doing it. If you read, like I did, the old Tarbell, everything was presented as an experiment. We're going to try an experiment here if you read the patter in this. But that doesn't work so much these days, and so you want to perform and give a reason to why you're doing it. One good example is the cups and balls. Cups and balls is a cool trick. Many magicians do it. I love the cups and balls. I think it's great. But why are you doing this trick with the cups and balls? And if you go back to a presentation by Ricky Jay, he talks about the history of it with the Egyptians and explaining all this, and now it gives a reason to why he's doing this. He's explaining the history of the illusion, and he's giving you a reason and a motivation why he is showing you this, teaching you the history of magic. And of course, when you're performing magic, everything now, that's just the reason of presenting the things, but when you're actually presenting the effect or routine, every movement, every prop placement should have a motivation. Why are you doing this? And why are you putting it here? Why do you have to do this strange handling? Why do you have to do it this way? This should all be thought about, planned out, and worked into your routine. Give an explanation and try to make it more natural. Now, I'm a big fan of Tommy Wonder, and if you've watched anything or read anything of Tommy Wonder, you know that he's very big on this motivation. He doesn't, he sits there and he plays with things with natural movements and give you the motivation while you do something naturally, and then he will discover the actual way, a method of doing the effect. And this, of course, makes the magic much, much stronger. So when you're performing your magic, when you're working out your routines, you need to figure out, break it down. Why am I moving my hand here? Why am I moving this prop here? Why am I using this strange device? What is the purpose? Is it clear to the audience? Because if the audience isn't clear on why you're doing something, it gets muddled and it's not as strong magic. And this is the true art form, I think, of magic, is to think about the effect. Why are you doing it? Why are you presenting it? Why are you showing it to the audience? And doing it in a clear way that the audience understands why you are doing this. And it's very interesting. Now, you have to change this motivation depending on, I think, on the kind of magic that you're doing as well. Because, for example, when I used to work at the Magic Bar here in Japan, I did a 20-minute to 25-minute set close-up show. So it's very easy to create a motivation, a continuity between effects in that 20 minutes. Then the audience is also expecting a 20-minute sit-down formal close-up show. So it's easy to work it out that way. But if you're, say, doing table hopping or walking around in a walk-around situation, you might have a shorter time, and there's more chance of an audience member butting into the effect. So you have to think about the effects that you're doing and how to put that motivation into the venue that you're performing for as well. So one way of performing the effect in a set, say 20-minute show, may be different from the way you have to figure out the motivation, the movements, the purpose of things when you're doing it in a strolling walk-around situation where it's a little bit more chaotic, not so structured environment. And so really have to think about this more than just going out and doing it to really make this magic stronger. And if you can figure out this motivation and then putting a continuity between the effects, and the reason why you're switching from one effect to another, and thinking about so that you're not doing something that's completely doesn't fit your character, doesn't fit the show that you're doing. But if you're going to do something like that, like if you're doing nice, clean manipulation magic or something, and then jump into bizarre magic, why are you jumping from this beautiful type of magic into something that's a little bit grotesque or a little bit shocking? You have to kind of figure out the continuity behind it. One reason for magic, I'm not a big fan of manipulation magic. I don't hate all of it. There's some that's very good, and the ones that I really like are the ones that have some kind of motivation and story in the manipulation act. And the classic of this, of course, is watching Cardini's act. He's this kind of gentleman that comes out that's kind of tipsy and drunk, and this magic stuff is happening to him. His motivation is clear. Why the magic is happening, what is happening is very clear to the audience. And some manipulation, I find, when he comes out, it's just like juggling, things are happening, but you don't know why. Why are silk scarves coming out? Why are CDs appearing? It's not clear. Why are cards appearing? It doesn't seem clear. It seems magicians like this, but for a layman's audience, why is this happening? You have to make this very clear. So if you watch somebody, again, I'm going to bring back Tommy Wonder, there's a reason. You understand why it's happening. There's a story happening. And the great manipulation acts have some kind of story that something happens at the beginning, and at the end there's a conclusion, and you understand why all the magic that happened in the routine happened. There's a reason for it. And anyways, that's just something to think about. And my thoughts rambling on about how to put the motivation behind the reason, the purpose behind your performing. Why are you doing the magic? And hopefully some of my ramblings come off onto you and help you inspire to do better magic as well, and help inspire others to do better magic. If you have any comments on this subject, please leave them in the comments below. You can send them to me on Twitter at Aaron Jones Magic. And please subscribe to keep update on any more content that comes out on my channel. My channel is a mixed match of magic and technology, news, and vlogging, and anything geeky because I'm a geek. And until next time, go out there and inspire others to do great magic. Bye-bye.